How could the intelligence and leadership of one woman change the course of an entire nation? This was the question on the minds of many when Elizabeth I ascended the throne in 1558. At that time, England was on the verge of disaster. Poverty was rampant, the church was divided between Catholics and Protestants, and enemies surrounded the nation on all sides. The English people were weary from internal and external conflicts, and hope for survival was faint. Yet, in this critical moment, one woman, with her intelligence and strategic vision, would turn the tide and forever change the course of history. From the very beginning of her reign, Elizabeth showed an unexpected brilliance. She knew that England's strength lay first in its internal stability. She adopted a balanced policy regarding religious conflict, famously stating, "I will not make windows into men's souls," thereby ushering in an era of religious tolerance, an incredibly bold decision at a time when religious division could ignite civil war. Thanks to this decision, internal tensions eased, and the country could finally catch its breath. But the threats didn't just come from within. Spain, the most powerful empire in the world at the time, was plotting an attack. King Philip II of Spain saw Elizabeth as a threat to his Catholic rule and began preparing a massive fleet to invade England, what became known as the Spanish Armada. At that moment, England seemed small compared to the Spanish Empire, but Elizabeth was ready for the challenge. In one of the smartest military decisions in English history, Elizabeth didn't just face the Spanish Armada with force but with a brilliant strategic plan. She used England's stormy weather to her advantage, and in coordination with naval leaders like Sir Francis Drake, managed to defeat the Armada in 1588. This victory was not just military but symbolic. It proved that England could stand firm against the mightiest empires. But Elizabeth was not just a wartime queen, she was also a patron of culture and the arts. During her reign, English literature flourished, with names like William Shakespeare and Christopher Marlowe rising to prominence. England became a global cultural hub, with London's theatres bursting with life and creativity. Elizabeth's reign became forever linked with the golden age of English literature, a legacy that endures to this day. In addition to the arts, Elizabeth supported the exploration of seas and new colonies. She sent adventurers and explorers like Sir Walter Raleigh to discover new lands, opening the door for England to become a colonial power. International trade thrived, and London became an important commercial center. All of these achievements came as a result of exceptional leadership that combined political savvy, military courage, and cultural vision. By the end of her reign, England had transformed from a weak and besieged nation into a great power commanding the seas and shaping global culture. Elizabeth I proved that the genius and intelligence of one woman could change the fate of an entire nation. She led England into a golden age, leaving behind a legacy for future generations and laying the foundation for the British Empire that would later rule large parts of the world. Wisdom and wise leadership can change the course of history, even in the most challenging times.